Hey everyone, it's Christine. It's been a long road, but we've nearly reached the conclusion of Chronicles of the Gatekeeper Act 2, which means it's time for another Q&A episode. Send in your questions about the act, the characters, and our experiences to heroes@theheidiandway.com or on the Heroes of the Heidi and Way's Discord Q&A channel. With that out of the way, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen, with the dark shadow of the Empire rising to take their place. This message is a warning and a reminder for any surviving Jedi. Trust in the Force.
They've outgrown their age of rebellion, dulled the Empire's edge, defeated Imperial generals and the Pirate Queen's dredge. They've been soldiers and scoundrels, what's there left to be? How about lost acolytes looking for their force and destiny? There's a seer, hermit, investigator, and teacher. Better watch your back or a vibro ring's gonna reach you. Will this team find the light or will darkness win the day? Find out with the heroes of the Heidi and Way.
Previously on Heroes of the Heidi and Way, Hillary, Koba, Kesh, and Skip plundered the past and gathered the crystal they had been seeking in the Undercity of Jora. It had been a long and complicated road to get there, through many trails and trials, and they had begun their return journey to the Silvered Shell when some old friends showed up mid-air. As Skip did their best with a ship that was barely functional, Kesh and Koba took up defensive positions in time to see Carl and his hired hunter Dallin Oberos in pursuit. The four are already pushing their limits. Is there no end in sight? Join them this week as somebody gets wrecked.
Welcome to Heroes of the Heidi and Way. This is a Star Wars actual play podcast, and we're playing in Fantasy Flight Games' Force and Destiny system. We're using the Chronicles of the Gatekeeper adventure as developed by Tim Cox and Max Brook. This is Act 2, Episode 27, and I'm Ben, the GM for this adventure.
I'm Koba, the Doug Sentinel investigator / Sheehan expert, which everyone seems to think is funny. We'll see who's laughing once my lightsaber skills save everybody.
Well, I'm Hillary, sagely teacher, the Alina, / popcorn producer extraordinaire. I took an annex course when I was very young. It's not a skill you lose.
I'm Kesh, the Trandoshan Mystic Seer, and I'm going to say I'm an expert question asker because I've been spending the last few minutes trying to think up a question for this episode.
Expert procrastinator.
Yep.
And I'm Skip Goby. I'm the Kalaran Seeker Hermit, High Jumper, and Hedge Wizard. You mean you get it?
And an expert.
Because I'm kind of like a wizard, like Kesh, but it's I can make hedges grow.
I like it. Also, you're an expert at naming maneuvers.
I've never understood the origin of the term hedge wizard, but now I get it.
See, I didn't actually think that any of you were going to laugh at that. Now I feel pretty cool.
I mean, Koba's not laughing.
I think I heard a slight chuckle.
To learn more about our heroes, we get one task and another question, and it is now Kesh's turn.
Okay. I know I'm supposed to ask Skip a question.
Hi.
But I don't think I'm going to do that today.
Okay.
So, sorry, Skip. I'll get you next time, promise. Instead, and I realize this might be dubious advice at best, but hey, Koba.
This better be real good.
It's not. It's really not. Where would you recommend a being go for a vacation in this galaxy?
Why on earth would you ask him that? He's just going to say, go somewhere really rainy so you can sit there with your thoughts. I've traveled. I've seen really great places. I know where the best place is to put up your hammock. This is nonsense.
Okay, that's it. I'm going to cheat. Skip, Koba, both of you answer.
I'm also well-traveled.
I see how it is.
places that aren't just trees.
Well, I don't want to answer anymore.
Okay, first person to answer gets a prize.
Because heaven knows the person who traveled the galaxy performing would know anything.
I've always kind of liked Deveron.
Any particular reason?
Well, it's jungly, which is sort of like home, but in a little bit of a different way than on Malastare. There's some Jedi temples that used to be kind of cool to tour before the Empire bombed them into empty shells. Some of the settlements, just like on a lively night, everybody will be jazzing it. That joke was for Ren. And only Ren.
I got that vibe.
I understand where that came from.
I don't.
Skip, what's your answer?
I don't want to answer anymore.
Okay, fine. Hillary, what's your answer?
But I mean, if I was going to answer, Deveron wouldn't be a bad one. Not that was what I was going to say, but, Koba's right. It is pretty nice and jungly, and the trees are really good for putting up hammocks. And yeah.
Okay, that's 2 votes for Deveron. I'm sorry, Hillary. Whatever you were going to vote on is now...
it's fine. I'm just going to go over there with Gudge, and we'll just be out of the way.
Hillary's just desperately trying to keep the ship aloft while we have this conversation.
Anyway, our destiny pool consists of 3 light side points and 2 dark side points.
Please focus on our survival while we are in the middle of the atmosphere that is right above a deathly mist full of bad things.
Definitely beach vacation after this.
We have upset Dad.
It's good for beaches.
I'm half expecting Hillary to break at this point and be like, I'm going to crash this car so that only you 3 die.
Scarif's great for beaches.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
I mean, we can't actually get there. It's Imperial controlled, but
yeah,
I've seen a postcard from there. It's very pretty.
I just want to say that there's a lovely station that overlooks a multicolored nebula. It is very beautiful, and there are lots of luxury suites and places to be pampered, and it is wonderful. So there. And me and Gudge are going there next. Queh, Gudge, queh. Pat, pat.
Okay, so camera comes up out of the mist, looking at this Sheathipede as it's trailing smoke. I don't know how, but it seems like it's bouncing off of the mist. The single lone engine that it's sort of canted about 20 degrees to the right, as it's only the engine on the right that is working, driving it forward. So you're trying to, instead of it spinning around in a circle, you're actively turning it. One of the front maneuvering thrusters is always going, and it's just off at an angle going forward. You can see the back door is partially closed with the landing ramp only half retracted. And you can see the shoulders of a Doug and a Trandoshan, who are standing there with a shimmering field about them. As we go past them with a camera, we can see a armored person with the wreckage of a jetpack on their back, looking up with a blaster rifle in hand that is wildly looking around. The camera flicks up, and you can see sitting in the pilot seat is Skip, and sitting in the co-pilot seat is Hillary, just a little bit of ways, and then we follow where the helmet is looking up out the top hatch of the shuttle, and there we see the wicked-looking Carl with their Black Inquisitor armor and a unfurled cape that is flapping in the heavy breeze. And we're in the middle of a combat. The initiative order is 2 PCs, 2 NPCs, 2 PCs. The 2 NPCs again because, well, they are both Nemesis. And we've had 2 PCs go. So we are at the NPC turn. The first one to go is Carl, who is jumping down into the midst of everyone with his lightsaber down to 1 lightsaber blade instead of 2. So he's jumping down and looking around, looks at Kesh, who has lightninged him, Koba, who tried throwing a lightsaber at him, and then quickly glancing back over their shoulders, seeing Hillary and Skip, reaching out with their free hand at Koba and attempting to do harm.
All right, bring it.
Doing a harm roll, he has a force rating of 4 and got 3 light side, 2 dark side. So,
Now, as a dark side force user, he gets the dark side ones for free,
yes.
but has to flip for the light side ones, correct?
Correct.
Does he also have to strain for the light side ones?
Yes.
Okay, it's important.
Doesn't have to increase range. So, he needs to use 1 pip to do the damage,
Mhm.
which goes beyond, it ignores soak. So he does 3 damage to Koba.
Yep.
But what he is going to do, okay, yeah, I actually barely have enough to do this. He does 3 instances of may spend a force point to increase the number of affected enemies by 1. So he's doing this to everyone.
Doesn't he need to spend 1 for range?
Everyone would be at short range.
Does harm start at short range?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Pretty sure.
never mind. All right, it's 3 wounds.
It's fine. We're fine.
I don't feel fine.
My insides.
That's 4 of the pips used. There is 1 more, so he's using the last one. Carl may spend a force point to heal an equal number of wounds on an engaged ally or himself. So Dallin is healing.
Oh, this jerk.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, this is like an area wound that like everyone got hit?
Yep.
Am I
Yep.
hearing that
Yep.
correctly? Okay.
Yep, he
That
just
is correct.
vampired a lot of
Yep,
us.
he just vampired everybody and used it to heal Dallin.
Okay. That was 3.
Yes.
I know it doesn't really need said, but I hate this guy.
Yep. Good turn, Carl. Good turn.
So that was Carl.
Oh, he'll have regrets. He'll have regrets.
Now Dallin goes. Dallin is lying prone, and yeah, Dallin is going to stand up, now feeling a lot more refreshed, and he looks between Kesh and Koba. He's trying to decide which one to shoot, because both of those seem to be the most dangerous that aren't going to cause him to go plummeting into the miss. Otherwise, he'd probably try and go after Skip. But Skip's flying, and it's a really bad idea to shoot the pilot.
Well, because she can't help herself, as he starts to stand up, Kesh is going to finally comment, "Nice landing."
All right, fair. He is going to attempt to shoot at Kesh.
Okay. He's currently engaged with me, though, isn't he? Because I
thought
just
he was
swung
at short range.
Well, I swung a stick
Oh,
at
yeah, you
him
swung
last
a
time,
staff.
so I think he's engaged with me. So that will increase his difficulty a little bit, unless he moves away.
So the real truth about your past with this guy comes out.
He's spending a maneuver to get up.
Mm-hmm.
He could spend a maneuver to get away, or he could spend a maneuver to aim.
Yeah.
I think he's going to spend the tooth strain to aim and try and shoot you essentially in the gut.
Okay.
Because that is where his mind pretty much is.
All right. So then, yeah, average difficulty. I have 1 range defense. Ben, I'm gonna flip.
Yeah, I'm
Your
using
point
my last
back.
point currently. If you're flipping back,
I'm
cool.
flipping back, so make it a red.
Isn't it a ranged heavy?
Yeah, it's range heavy, so it's going to be a red
So
to
it's- so
purple
it's
and a
hard.
setback.
You're right. Thank you, Brandon. I'm extra glad I argued for it being engaged now.
Oh, and he does get a boost because he aimed.
Yep.
All right, let's see what happens.
Oh, dear.
Sorry.
Nothing good for him? Oh, I won't be able to reflect it back, though,
Why not?
because it's a ranged heavy weapon.
I thought it was all damage.
Huh?
I will only reduce the. Well, actually, no, maybe not. Because it's my soak and the damage reduction.
Yes, it's a soak and damage reduction.
So how much damage is that
He
total?
does 10.
10. Then I just I just got it if there's no Pierce.
No, it's a standard Stormtrooper blaster rifle, so there's no pierce, no nothing.
And my 5 soak and 6 damage reduction reduces it to 0, and the blaster bolt reflects back at him for the shot.
Alright, so he will then take... Yeah, it was nowhere near as bad. I'm also kind of glad Carl had as much healing as he did. So he's done 2 maneuvers. Carl's done 1, but I don't really see Carl doing another maneuver. He does have 4 advantage, so I'm trying to figure out what to do.
You do technically hit, so I would say that you can still... I would think you could still do the things like disarming, maybe, etc. You can't crit because you didn't do any damage.
Yeah, but can activate other effects.
But you did
that
hit,
is fair.
so that, yeah. Things you could do with it that are contingent on the attack succeeding, but not on it doing damage.
I was about to say, and the blast was reflected. That doesn't mean it was entirely reflected advantageously to us.
Yeah, that's fair.
It reflected back and actually hit him.
Yeah. But it still impacted Kesh, so yeah, there could have been something that happened during that. Like, you could knock her staff away. I don't know if it helps him out very much, but it is a possibility.
Yeah, I'm more thinking I'm going to have him heal a strain and upgrade Kesh's next check.
Okay.
On account of, the force, it worked. On the other hand, he did get a despair. So, for our audience, in case I haven't said it yet, 1 success, 4 advantage, and a despair. So, despair. He is standing in the middle of the ship, so it's really hard to say he falls out.
Yeah, I'm not thinking that.
Could we... Sorry, Christine, if you had a...
No, you go ahead. I don't have a super good idea right now, so I'm happy
I mean, since this hit is bouncing back at him and hitting him, could we activate a crit?
Ben?
Yes, I can go with that. I would totally go with that. Because that just sort of seems to fit.
I'm good with that. Again, I didn't have anything super exciting in mind, so does Dallin currently have any crits?
Yes, it would be a plus 10.
Okay.
Because the crit he had, while it is an ongoing effect, it still is lingering.
Stunned, the target is staggered until the end of his next turn, so that really sort of rocks him backwards, and that is a crit I am happy with, even if it's only an easy, that knocks out a turn.
Nice.
Good suggestion, Brandon.
So he can still maneuver and stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no actions.
No action until the end of his next turn. And we've been doing that by action.
Yes.
Right, by activation, by turn, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Not by round. These kind of nemesis take 2 turns every round.
That's the reason why I was wanting to make sure I was on the same page.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I pretty much knew what he was doing. It's not really going to change much, but yeah, we'll do.
Okay.
Okay, so then we are on to a Koba and a Hillary.
Leslie, are you spoiling to go?
I have no clue what I want to do. So if you have an idea, roll with it. Otherwise, I'm going to do something I don't know yet.
Okay. Koba will close in on Carl, lightsaber flashing, as he just tries to swing at him. Hit him.
Carl?
Yeah. Why not?
Lightsaber duel.
Because we know Dalin's armor is cortosis, and
That's fair.
I assume Carl's is also, but I don't know that for sure. But also, I have a plan, because with this lightsaber attack, I am going to do an ebb check.
Okay. What's the range on the ebb?
Engaged.
Okay.
I have the upgrade that lets me potentially extend it if I want, but...
No, if you're able to do it just to engage. Cool.
Yeah, the default is just engaged. Yes, so I throw in my force dice, and he is an adversary 3 with 1 defense, correct?
Yes, that is correct. It's only when he goes into silly mode that he gets defensive.
Let's see. The crystal gives me a dark side pip automatically.
Yes.
I don't remember what dark side pip is for...
N.
Oh, okay. D1. And I better keep my flip for pips.
Yeah, makes sense.
Well, okay.
This is going to really be bad for Carl and Strain.
Yep. Well, not as bad as it could have been, unfortunately. All right, my roll. 2 successes, 1 advantage, 3 dark side pips. I will flip a light side point and take 3 conflict and 3 strain to use all of those pips. But maybe not all for strain. So give me a sec.
Okay, fair.
I of course take strain, but no, I'm just gonna make it 3 strain. Carl suffers 3 strain from this swing as Koba just sort of draws the energy out of the air with the force, which granted is tiring for Koba as well as it happens. But so that is otherwise a hit with this lightsaber, 2 successes. That brings it to 8 damage, breach 1.
All right.
And regrettably not enough advantage to crit.
Oh, I'm kind of happy on that. On the other hand, thanks for remembering about the breach, because I was not. And he is not using...
Cortosis.
He is not using Cortosis armor.
I guess it's probably been a while since he's actually had to deal with the Jedi, if ever.
Also, what he does is... You come at him, you're swinging, and he is able to get his saber in to deflect the primary swing. So you're getting through his armor, but just barely instead of with a full strike. So you're doing reduced damage as he parries.
Yep. That's great, because he's using more strain to parry.
Yeah, fair.
I think the only way Koba beats Carl at present, given where I think our stats and relative power levels are, I think is to just strain Carl out.
I mean, fair.
And then I'm going to use my advantage to heal strain.
I will say that's a valid strategy, Brandon.
I mean, it'll limit his ability to continue to parry / use force powers as freely.
Yeah.
And I think I had to maneuver to close to engaged with him, and I don't want to do a second maneuver. I definitely care about my strain economy right now, so I am finished.
Okay. Then that brings us to a Hillary.
I'm torn.
Hi, torn. I'm Skip.
Dang.
What are you thinking, Leslie?
Well, on one hand, Leslie wants to use harm.
Okay.
It
I'm
seems
guessing
thematically
Skip-
appropriate. But at the same time, Hillary just had harm used on him, so he now knows what that feels like. And I feel like it seems kind of out of character.
I mean,
Brandon, ever the voice of the Emperor.
There's always the heal option still, which
in our ears.
Yeah, various people could benefit from it.
I mean, on the other hand, Hillary not only knows what it feels like now, but also all of us felt that. This guy
That's
did that
true.
to all of us. All of your friends.
Also, it's pretty common for people to, when they get hurt, lash out.
Okay, all right. I can tell there are more devils than angels. There are more emperors than, I don't know, some
Yodas?
famous light side force user.
I was going to say, I like that Brandon comes at me with an Emperor reference, and Ben's all on board for a Natalie Imbruglia reference. I am all out of faith. And this is how I could heal. So...
I do think it's fair to really have Hillary be conflicted about the right way to respond to this.
Oh yeah, that totally is. That's great.
How does my team look?
To again borrow a 4E term, Kesh is bloodied. So she has over half of her wounds. So looking rough.
Koba is below half wounds, so not looking too bad, especially since harm, I think, is often kind of, at least implicitly, mostly internal. He is at half of his strain and probably locked in a flurry of saber swings and blocks with Carl. Maybe it's unclear if he has the stamina to keep that up, but not actually super injured.
Okay.
And Skip, mostly, I would think, having never been on the receiving end of harm, looks pained and perplexed, but not overly bloodied or anything.
Okay. So Hillary will swivel around in the chair. He is tired and he is scared and he is so very angry. He is going to close the distance to Carl. And I'd like to actually do the thing where like I did with Dallin, where I just jumped him. But I'd like to be able to make the roll for harm as well. So I don't know if I can do both in this context, since he's currently in a lightsaber battle with my teammates.
The jumping up on him and going for his head, I think, would be a bit much in the current. Yeah, it feels like it would be a bit over the top.
That's fine.
Like, over the top's good, but I'm unsure of how that would work, really.
No, that's legit. So Hillary will swivel around in his chair and he will jump out. And he'll take a really good grip of something on the wall. Because, it's a ship, so there's like handholds and stuff.
Absolutely.
I don't think he even says anything. He just plants both of his tiny little dinosaur feet and he reaches out and he just squeezes with his free hand. Okay. So harm inflicts additional wound equal to ranks in medicine, so that's 1 to use it.
Yep. And if you stop using the 2 light side that you rolled, you're only taking the 1 conflict.
It's true. 1 to boost the strength, I guess? So that would just be 4? Is that what we determined this would be?
Plus ranks in medicine, that's free.
Yeah, so it's 1 to use and 1 to boost.
Yeah. How many ranks of strength do you have?
Just the 1, which is making me regret it. I should have bought that before we started tonight.
Yeah.
How close is Kesh to me?
Probably within short, I would imagine. It's not too big of a shuttle.
Yeah, it's a pretty tiny little thing.
She was within short of Carl.
Everywhere inside the shuttle is short.
Then I will flip that point to heal wounds equal to what I'm doing on a target, I guess. Okay, so help. Is that just for me?
I don't think so, because Carl just did it for Dallin.
Yeah, and it's using, Inquisitor versions are slightly different, but...
It's an engaged living creature.
Okay, so I would have to move closer to him, so I can't get to her, because she's at short.
And the healed character, whether it's you or not, gains a conflict as well.
I saw that.
You put some dark side in him.
So I think I'll do the 4 harm to him, and I will not flip anything, and I will gain the strain.
Okay.
So I'm going to heal 4 strain, he's going to take 4 harm, is what it boils down to, and I'm going to take a conflict. He looks so tiny and fierce, just shaking his tiny fist. But Carl can feel it, and that's what matters.
And that definitely hurt. Okay, so then it is Dallin who is popping a stim pack.
Yeah, he was staggered, so... Yep.
Carl is now engaged with 2 on account of there's tiny dino person holding on to a part of him, and Koba's in a lightsaber fight. What I'm thinking is he is going to attempt... I will take a maneuver, putting out the dual saber, and he is going to try and use the newly extended saber to stab at Hillary.
Bye, guys. Actually, can I flip a point to make this harder? Do you guys mind?
Go for it.
Absolutely not. Flip it. You're the healer.
It feels wrong to use a light side to defend myself after that, but I feel like he can feel that the Force is not necessarily going his way.
Mm-hmm.
Stabbing backwards. All right.
Oh, circus acrobatics for the win.
Yep.
Whew.
Because he's trying to be acrobatic with it. And it turns into an unwieldy device, which increases the difficulty. He misses. Does get 4 advantage, but he misses because of the increased difficulty.
I think what Hillary does is he sees him turn and lunge, and Hillary actually uses his grip on the wall that he was steadying himself with, and he just pulls himself really awkwardly to one side. It's not particularly beautiful, but it's those honed reaction skills from his performance days, and he's just whoop out of the way for a second. However, Carl got 4 advantage, so let's see how that pans out.
This seems somewhat anticlimactic, but he's taking that as strain.
I don't know.
I mean, that's the right call.
Knowing how important strain is, I respect that choice.
Okay. To do the 2 wound thing for Koba, and what strain Koba inflicted, he took 6 strain. So this is not recovering all of it. And that brings us to the top of round 3. Yes, we have Skip in the pilot seat, still trying to keep this old rust bucket of a Cethipede in the air. And Skip's been doing a pretty good job of that so far. We've got Hillary, who is dancing on the wall as they're grabbing onto the side of Carl, causing Carl harm. We've got Koba, who is fencing with Carl, and they're now double-bladed lightsaber. We've got Kesh and Dallin, who are in hand-to-hand combat, with Dallin attempting to shoot their blaster rifle at Kesh at engaged range.
It doesn't make a lot of sense for me to go.
I'm happy to lead off.
Yeah, well, why don't you? If I can go into the back half to keep the protect up a little longer, that might be the better call. I'm going to probably try to deal with Dallin in the Disney movie fashion. Let me get to my turn.
Unless, Rin, did you have something else?
No, I was saying I don't have anything I can really do now that everyone's like, in the ship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could Star Fox it up.
Do a barrel roll.
So, Brandon, do you want to start us off?
Yep, I'm going to stab him.
All
Stab
right.
him good. I really wish I could commit a die for not an action, but it takes an action to do that. So.
I was having a similar feeling.
Yeah. And all of my flow abilities are that do anything to my success rate is like on other checks until the end of the next turn, which is decent for setup. But I think I just go in deep on Ebb. Yeah, we're just gonna lightsaber again. We're gonna go in deep on Ebb here. I'll aim since I don't have to move.
Okay.
Does he still get the setback with his lightsaber like it is? Because he had a defense. Is his defense from his armor or was it from his lightsaber?
His defense is from the armor.
Okay. So him changing how he's using his lightsaber doesn't affect attacks against him.
It's when he goes up to the spinny lightsaber, then he gets another one. But no, his armor.
Hillary, a higher rating would be great.
Okay, let me just make sure I can do that up in my off my turn. We're in short range, you said, right?
Yeah, we're both engaged with Carl, so I assume that we are probably actually engaged with each other.
Yeah.
But we're certainly within short range.
If you want to let me go first, I can do it for you.
Yeah, by all means.
Okay.
That makes sense. Then I go in the back half.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're doing Hillary, then Koba, then those two, then...
All
right.
Hillary will pop back out from wherever he had kind of ducked and see that Koba is standing there with the lightsaber ready, facing the kind of back of Carl, since Carl's kind of trying to keep us both in sight. And the tiny fist that he had clenched, he will throw at Koba, like he's just kind of pushing at him, and then Is there a maneuver I can take to make Carl's life more difficult?
Not really.
Yeah, it's nothing's greatly coming to mind, at least not at the maneuver level.
Okay, that's kind of what I figured. But so Hillary will throw kind of the energy at Koba, and then he's actually going to move to like a wall chest, like where they would have stored useful things.
Yeah. Standard gear and stuff.
Yeah. So he's going to move back to toward his seat up at the front. And he looks, and he does a little pushing motion at Koba and gives him the nod.
Yeah. So I functionally have your force rating. Which is
you
3.
have.
So it was by your force rating combined.
Yeah. You increase your force rating by the amount equal to my force rating, which is 3.
Oh, dear God.
Is that good? I mean, it sounds good.
We're going to find out. Me and Carl might both just die.
Well, pass out, right?
Die. Okay, so Koba catches this wave of force beyond anything he could drum up on his own, even with the help of the crystal, which adds another dark side pip, and does another lightsaber attack targeting Carl, aimed for a boost, and with ebb.
Wow.
I am so mad.
That is a thing.
Well, do you have to hit for Ebb to work?
No. I'm just mad that I have a triumph, but I don't hit, so I can't crit him with my vicious lightsaber.
Sorry.
There's no way that you could do a reroll.
I don't have reroll abilities, and all of the ebb flow stuff that would let me add successes here is not stuff I can activate right now.
Yeah.
But Christine's right. I don't have to hit for ebb to work. Oh boy.
See how much you can take.
So I got 2 advantage, 1 triumph, 3 light side pips, 4 dark side pips. So I miss, but I'm going to ebb just real hard. Yeah, why not? I'll just use all 4 of the dark side. So I'm going to inflict 7 strain on all engaged characters.
Carl and yourself?
Other engaged characters.
Okay.
I only will take the 4 strain for the 4 dark side pips I'm using.
Okay.
But you'll also take...
And plus the conflict, yes. And I have to flip.
Whew.
So yes, ebb for 7 strain.
I feel like it's appropriate that after that flip, we're up to 1 light side and 4 dark side in the pool.
I agree.
I suffer 4 strain because of 4 dark side points. I also gain 4 conflict.
What's your total now?
8.
Okay, still ahead of you.
I went into this session with 1.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
Okay.
I think the advantage, as I assume, Koba kind of rides the wave of Hillary's force really to wear Carl out. He's not even necessarily aiming to hit, even if he is maybe looking for openings. But just to wear Carl down, just, play on the fact that if Koba passes out, there's other people who will take his place, but Carl doesn't have that sort of backup. I will, however, Koba maybe stops for a breather in a moment where he senses that Carl's attention is just split enough to give him some breathing room to use the 2 advantage to heal 2 strain, so that I only have 8 strain instead of 10. My threshold is 12, incidentally.
Okay.
So this is not a great situation, but it's better. And then...
What are you talking about? You can do this all day.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, really, I can just start flowing now to heal my strain.
Oh, okay.
It's an either-or thing, but it is something I can start to do. That just doesn't push him at all. With the triumph, I didn't hit, so...
Yeah, sadly, you can't crit him.
Can't crit him. Can't disarm him.
Could always pass an upgrade along.
Actually, rather than pass an upgrade, I think since Carl did just swing at Hillary, Koba is probably trying to keep Carl's attention and keep Carl from continuing to swing at the more squishy members of the party. So what I would like to do with the triumph is either have Carl focus on me
Okay.
on his turn, or if that's a little too squishy. I would just go with the upgrading the difficulty of his next check effect.
Okay. See, he wasn't planning on going after Hillary. He was thinking of 1-2ing with Dallin on Cash.
My preference is, if for the triumph, if it's okay, is that he'll go after
Focus
Koba.
on you.
Essentially, the Koba will give him no openings to go after anybody else.
Yeah. No, and that's fair enough. Yeah, I'll go with it.
Cool. Oh, and it was Hillary's turn.
Yeah,
so I was gonna say it's their turn. So
So yeah, it's them.
So Dallin is no longer staggered.
Dallin is no longer staggered, and he can shoot things. Or crush things. Because he does have his Kurtosis gauntlets.
Okay, there's still a shimmering field around Koba and Kesh since I haven't had a turn.
Does that regenerate around Kesh?
Yes, because I had enough pips, I activated it where it lasts for all attacks.
Oh.
It also will protect me against all types of attacks, so that will include his gauntlets.
Yeah, that's what a 6-pip protect gets you.
I wasn't sure about the regeneration part.
It doesn't do that by default. You do have to purchase that.
I got that because I used no dark side points.
Okay.
That's what gets me that. So the fact it was a 6 light side point check got me that with the reflect and everything.
Yeah. All right. Does he feel...
Lucky. Punk.
Honestly, at this point, he doesn't.
Yeah.
What I am more thinking is that he is going to try and... I think he's going to run to the co-pilot's seat because that was left pointed into the cabin from my memory. So he is going to be trying to go for the co-pilot seat and not get into it. Like, not getting the safety belts or anything like that, but he's going to at least start to get in there. And...
Skip's like, what the? Get the... No.
Exactly. And then I think he is going to be using his blaster rifle to shoot at Cash.
Okay.
So at short range, no longer at engaged.
Okay, I have 1 defense. I am not going to flip. I'm going to trust in the force.
So you've got 1 defense from your armor, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And otherwise, it was 1 purple, 1 setback. I'm just hoping I can soak all of this, or enough of it he doesn't down me.
Thinking that might not be the case. He does 12 damage.
Okay. Good news for him, 1 point makes it through. It does not reflect back at him.
All right.
Because 11 was the number he had to beat. That said, Cash is not down.
I mean, fair. But he's still able to shoot and get in.
Yeah.
He's okay on strain. I'm thinking... Technically, the one advantage is supposed to be open door, closed door kind of thing. Since I've been making so much hay about the door not being closed on account of it being old and whatnot, an advantage and a dark side point to find a emergency close?
Sure.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the door to the cockpit or the ramp?
The door to the ramp.
Okay.
To stop us from, throwing...
Yeah, from doing the very thing I was about to do to him.
Yeah.
He's no dummy.
That's fair.
In his armor, he will be getting like a jetpack warning sign or icon in his in peripheral vision, so he knows his jetpack's not good.
And if you're a Jedi Hunter, the 1 power you are most ready for is move.
Yeah. I mean, the fun part is if anyone tries to move, he actually does get an upgrade to their check. But now it is less likely he will be doing Disney villain disappearance.
Okay. So Carl's turn.
Using the Triumph from Koba, he's 2 battered down to try and do a small saber throw, even though that sounded awesome. So yeah, he is going to be trying to attack Koba.
Koba's just doing the Yoda thing.
The bouncy part?
Lots of jumping and twirling and being small.
So he will be aiming... Does Koba have any defense?
No defense, because I don't believe I've even moved the crystal into the guard Shoto hilt.
All right. I'm not going to be flipping a point with this, so we'll see.
Good.
So the damage is
7.
so the damage is reduced by 6.
Yeah.
But I picked up a rank of parry.
Do you need it though? Your soak plus I guess it's reach. So yeah, parry is important.
Yep. So, good thing I healed 2 strain with my advantage last time, because otherwise parry would put me out. Takoba will use the other talent he picked up since last session, parry, to parry, thus taking 3 strain to reduce the damage by 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which means the protect will soak the rest of it, and this will reflect on Carl.
Yep.
Of which he will then parry himself.
Okay, just adding to the strain.
Technically, he can, on account of he's got 3 advantage, he can parry for free, essentially.
Fair enough.
Because otherwise he was going to heal 2 strain.
So is this like Final Fantasy X, where if you cast a spell on somebody who's shielded, it bounces back, but then it just kind of evaporates after that?
But if Carl didn't have parry himself, and would be using 3 strain, reducing it by 6, thusly taking 1... Actually, no.
Yeah, how much parry does he have?
You'd be taking 1 wound.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of parry.
He has 4 ranks of parry.
Yep, that's a lot of parry.
Okay.
Yeah, suffer 3 strain to reduce incoming damage.
Yeah, by
He's got
6.
parry and reflect.
Oof. 4 ranks of parry. Yeah,
4 ranks of parry, 4 ranks of reflect.
that's nasty, but totally doable.
Good team effort, guys.
Well, I'll take the 1 wound.
And the 3 advantage goes into him parrying. So yeah, he's got 1 wound off of that. It's like essentially taking a swipe in, it getting deflected into the field, bouncing back and catching his shoulder or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay.
Now we are at a Kesh/Skip.
Okay, I've got a short turn if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Incidental, Kesh is going to knock the butt of the staff on the ground, and the, I guess what was a green blade of the training saber
Yeah, the green training saber.
will begin to emit from the top of it. Her action is she's going to breathe in and commit a force die to Brawn, and with her maneuver, she's going to move engaged with Carl, Koba, and Hillary, thus hopefully spoiling any more shots of Dallin later. Oh, sorry. Koba and Carl.
Yep.
And that'll end her turn.
Okay. Skip, who is now in the pilot seat, sitting next to Dalen, who just stole the co-pilot seat, is going to look over in just, what? And now I have a question.
Absolutely.
This guy is covered with armor. Like, there's no visible, not armored section.
Correct.
What does his helmet look like?
I'm thinking essentially the glass faceplate kind that's darkened, so that's almost a chromey type finish, or like mirror shade-ish. But like it's over the entire face as opposed to like a Mandalorian or a Stormtrooper one. I'm figuring that otherwise he's in like matte black with that chromed faceplate.
Right. Okay. Skip, who is keeping one hand on the controls, is going to look up and with the butt of my carbine blaster attempt to undercut him on the edge of the helmet, hopefully dislodging the helmet or moving it around so that he can't see out of it very well. This is just like a reaction of like, I don't have much to do here. I'm still trying to control this ship, just reaching out and clocking him as best as I can.
All right, so you're going to try and punch him, essentially?
No, with the butt of the rifle, I'm trying to like undercut the edge of his helmet.
All right, so we have called that previously a medium improvise, haven't we?
Yeah, something like that.
So that would be... he is adversary, so would be 2 red and a setback.
Okay. It's probably irrelevant as to if this is brawl or melee, because I have the same thing in either of them, so...
Technically, it would be melee.
Aim!
And yeah, I suppose I can aim, ultimately. It's weird, but yeah. Because I did, look over and assess his helmet, so I guess that does make sense for aiming.
Yep, totally does.
I am trying to think if I can justify, anything else to help me with this, because this is probably not going to go great.
You can flip a point.
I can flip a point.
Because you're not doing anything that's,
This is true.
forcey, right?
Okay. Yes, I can flip a point. Okay. That will help me. Okay. Rolling. Red, red setback. Yellow, green, green. Boost.
Hey,
Woo!
hey!
I got 1 success, 3 advantage.
And is the improvised a setback or an automatic threat?
Automatic threat.
Yeah. Okay, so that'd be 2 advantage then.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, yeah. And improvised have a 5 crit for advantage.
Yeah, obviously you can alter that if the nature of the thing being used as an improvised weapon makes sense to give it different stats, but yeah, by default they're not particularly adept at critting.
This being the butt of a rifle seems a little
Well, that's
weird
fine.
to-
I'm not trying to crit. I am just trying to disorient him, get him to lose his helmet, get him to lose, some of his vision, just anything. Because Skip is, trying to control the ship and just reaching out and reacting the only way that they can right now.
You're trying to deeply inconvenience him.
So you hit him with the butt of your rifle. That, with a hit, and I'm going to go with that, twists his helmet on his head. Maybe not a whole heck of a lot, but enough to actually interfere with him.
Perfect.
Whether it's just him being uncomfortable, he's at least going to have to do something next go of his to do something with the helmet.
Fantastic. That's all I could really hope
Yep.
for here. And I think that's... You said the advantage... I can't. So can I
2
just
advantage.
use the... Can I just use the advantage to recover strain?
Yep.
That's all I got.
Okay, so Dallin and Carl.
Dallin... Okay, I also took the opportunity to look up the full text on Linked.
The what?
For the double-bladed lightsaber.
For the double-bladed lightsaber, it extending and now has linked as a quality. And unwieldy.
Yeah, spin two.
I liked unwieldy more than linked.
Okay, well you're engaged with 2 people with lightsabers, and protect is gone.
Well, protect being gone is really handy for him. What I think is going to happen is he is going to flip the toggle on his, and it's going to go back to the one-bladed version.
Okay.
Because he is not that agile, and he is going to attempt to take a swipe at Koba on account of Koba has been the one whose the triumph is still ongoing, essentially.
Sure.
It's not that long since Koba drew his attention.
That is precisely what I asked for.
Okay.
He is going to aim for it, and since this is just a lightsaber thing, he is going to spend a dark side point.
Yeah, I'm putting a point to upgrade because, without protect, I just need him to not hit me.
Okay, flip it back.
So it'll be a red and a purple against his. Then we see.
Pretty desperately need him to not hit me.
Hey!
Aha!
The heck?
Ha!
Well, Brandon, you got your wish.
The force is with us.
Well, he did not hit you. I'll give you that.
Oh, golly.
So he failed with 3 advantage and a despair.
Carl just fumbles around for a bit, trying to remember how to turn off the one side of the lightsaber.
I mean, okay, sure. That's the reason why he misses.
Yep.
So, we've been dueling. I did just parry him a moment ago with help from Kesh's Protect. With the despair, can I sunder his lightsaber? With my lightsaber? I know that doesn't necessarily break it.
It might at least damage it enough so where it can't do the helicopter thing.
Or where he just has setbacks to use it, But
Okay, how many of Sunder are you talking? Just the one ray?
in any quantity of sunder.
Okay.
I will accept any quantity of Sunder. I will take as many as you will give me, but I understand that might be only one.
Yeah, in that case, I would just go with 1 rank of Sunder, which would give him a setback on every attack done with that blade.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it.
And he is doing the semi-smart force wielder thing with 3 advantage, just pouring that into his strain.
Okay. So that was him. What about Dallin? I'm now engaged with Carl.
Yeah.
So there's a chance he could hit Carl for what it's worth, but the protect is gone.
Yeah, but how much does he care about Carl?
That's a fair point, and he really doesn't like me.
It's unclear how close they are.
The fun part is that he also now has a decent line of sight on Hillary.
That too.
Dallin does?
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm right next to him. Because I went back up to the front to a supply chest.
I wouldn't say that he has decent line of sight on anyone. He's got slightly hindered line of sight.
True.
Okay, fair. So I am thinking for his maneuver, because I don't think he's going to do a double maneuver, I think for his maneuver he's yanking the helmet off, and then I think he's going to look around quickly and see Hillary off on his own, and thinks that it's a good idea to shoot at Hillary.
Okay.
I have the dark side points, so I am flipping.
How do you guys feel about me again hindering that?
Flip it.
Do it.
Do it.
Double destinied. I value my tiny hide.
I mean, it's fair.
Billy might have had a death wish. Hillary less so.
Mm-hmm. All right, so then that is short range, so that just turns into a single red. And I'm figuring we're going to end after this.
Okay, so this will go on to
I have
another
a thought
episode.
that I'm typing out real quick.
Okay.
Ominous.
I'm going to need to remember to flow and buff both Kesh and Koba's lightsaber skill.
That would be wonderful.
Because this is like the one time this might happen.
Shooting at Hillary gets 5 success, 1 advantage, which does 14 damage to Hillary. Doesn't have enough to crit.
Pretty sure you're going to get one for downing Hillary, though.
110%.
I wasn't sure if I was going to down Hillary.
I have 9 wounds total on a good
And
day.
I think 1 soak.
2.
Okay, so, who rolls the crit, Ben? You or Leslie?
I mean, if Leslie wants to, I'm not going to say no.
Oh, sure, why not? That
I
seems
get
like a
you.
great idea. Just exclamation point crit?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no bonuses to it, so yes.
Unless you have any other crits, which I don't think you do.
Oh no, I'm compromised.
Yeah, increase difficulty of all skill checks by 1 until the end of the encounter. Ooh, God.
I mean, that's a pretty rough one, but at least it's the one you're taking for being downed, not otherwise.
Yeah.
Hillary just crumples. And is not moving.
Okay.
Ouch, man.
So if that ends Dallin's turn, do you want
Yep.
to do the thing, Ren, and we'll end on that?
Yeah, so if we're looping back around to another round, I would like to take this next turn. And because we've already established that Skip does have the carbine blaster in their hand, now that Dalen has taken off the helmet, without skipping a beat, Hillary crumples, Skip looks over at Dalen, levels the carbine blaster just directly at his temple. It takes a lot for me to think someone is good or evil, but you just hurt someone I know is good. And I think I need to kill you now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Heroes of the Hydian Way. You can find show updates on Twitter at The Hydian Way, and you can find me, Ben, on Twitter at Deuterium Ice.
You can find me on Twitter at Blue of the Kin.
I am still and ever at LesLitGS.
And I'm at 12th Night. That's 12th Night with a K.
You can find me, Ren, at Ren Out of Time, because I like puns.
Pretty sure I'm the one out of time right now, though.
So Dallin ran out of time.
Dallas is definitely out of time.
And we are at thehideandway.com, where you can find previous episodes.
You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, where you can help us out by rating, reviewing, and subscribing.
We're also on Facebook as The Hiding Way, and you can holocom us at heroes@thehidingway.com.
If you like what we do and you want to support the show, you can find us at patreon.com/thehidingway.
Or you can send the team some calf at ko-fi.com/thehidingway.
Hillary would appreciate it. He's going to need a lot of calf.
Bleh, start over. I almost just said I'm Hillary. Okay.
Excuse you? God, do me a favor and go slap somebody in the
And
face.
this is why you don't wait to the last second to come up with your character question, kids.
I don't know. I thought that was great.
That was pretty solid.
I did
Okay.
kind of, jump in where I know that like our tact for these has been in the past. Don't interrupt too much.
No,
but you started by talking to me, so
No, I appreciate. Well, it is Skip's turn, but I didn't want to put like you, Ren, on the spot with like a Star Wars planet question.
No, I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
I also
go
like
to a
Agamar.
planet, so there. Mm.
I just asked you a question, Hillary.
Is that the place with the shirts?
Is it the place with the shirts?
Or is that Adamar? I get those two confused.
Those are both planets.
Just the one with the bumpkins on.
Okay, time to kill us, Ben.
Yeah, kill us.
Okay.
And that's when Carl stabs the last engine on the ship and jumps off.
I mean, that sounds great. I would love that. Not because we die, but because it would be a cool thing to try and find our way out of.
I mean, kind of like the Disney villain death, totally on the table.
I mean, I assume we would just have to like make sure that Kesh could catch the ship.
I think I have to get out of the ship to catch it. I don't think I can catch something I'm on.
But I can
Right.
catch you catching the ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A, it is a Silhouette 4 ship. B,
I mean, I only need 2 pips to pick that up, Ben. I got
I
this.
mean,
Yeah, that's not a problem.
the
Size
other
matters
part
not.
is if it's enhanced, that is the force power that you need to fly with the lightsaber, then I don't know. How that's not move, I don't know.
It probably has to do with the way that lightsabers work with physics, which is to say they make their own rules.
Pretty much.
what I
Alright,
hear is
so-
either way, I'm set. I can fly with a lightsaber.
Enhance just lets you spin anything fast enough for it to be helicopter rotors.
Okay, how
That's
does
just-
everybody do on spinny rides?
Mm-mm.
Like, really, Carl could be flying around out here with like a broom or a mop,
As long as it spins.
a shower rod, or,
Power drill.
yeah, like a power drill maybe. Probably. I don't know. A wrench,
A wrench?
a hydro spanner.
I gotcha. Ren.
Okay.
This is long, extended outtake.
We have Ren. Not Ren. We have Skip.
Not gonna flip. I'm gonna trust in the Force.
Trust in the Force.
They've outgrown their age of... Never mind.
I've had like all 3 songs stuck in my head this month.
That's both of them.
I have a really short turn if you want me to go ahead and go, Ren.
Wait, so what did Carl do?
What did Carl do?
Yeah,
don't think
don't
Carl
have
did
any
anything yet.
recollection of what Carl did.
For some reason, I thought he was trying to attack Cuppa and failed for some reason.
I mean, he...
Oh.
No, I
Should
think
technically,
No,
but-
there are no
he-
rules on that, so
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
didn't do
so
it. I do want to at least do the responses, but I need to very quickly go run and do things with my windows before bad things happen.
Okay. Cash is going to do something that finishes the fight, right? Cash is just going to do something really awesome.
I'm just coming in to hit things like you now. That was
Oh
since
wait, you're right. You already went. It's them.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
Yep,
sorry
so-
I didn't have anything. I'm still, I'm trying to keep us afloat
Yeah,
here.
no, like.
No, I think that was a really good idea.
Yeah, that was
my
solid.
plan was to throw Dallin out and then do the thing I just did, which was move in to try to help Koba strain out Carl. That was my plan. That's what I had.
Yeah.
So with the ramp closed, all I have is trying to strain out Carl and then deal with Dallin.
I think everybody's done a good job of finding ways to contribute to this situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, cool piloting worked as long as they were outside of the ship, and now I'm just trying to keep us from crashing or being.
Yeah, now it might get a little
us
interesting.
crashing is always a valid option too.
That's fair.
I mean, we'll call that Plan B, but
But don't we crash into like poison mist or something if we?
yes, but won't Carl and Dallin crash into poison and mist? Isn't that the thing? The question we
Yeah,
should
that's the
ask
focus on the
That's it.
positive.
That's it. There's no Act 3, folks. We all just die here, but we take them with us.
Yep.
I mean, that is an option. Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, Ben's back.
No
It's
worries.
fine.
I think that's appropriate,
I think that's appropriate too.
especially
We're in a
given
fight-
what's about to happen.
yeah for
Okay, I just didn't want to
life
like
and death
bust any like content warning. Anything.
I mean, remember what happened with the Pirate Queen last
Yeah,
season?
no,
I
I
feel
mean,
like
that's-
this is
that's
perfectly
fair.
justified.
I was going to ask that essential question at some point. If you didn't,
Okay.
Yeah.
because
let's
Koba
finish this.
absolutely will.
Let's finish the episode
Okay.
and then go there.
I personally thought I would have been engaged with him. I'm just going to say that now, but it doesn't matter. I don't think, given the amount of successes he rolled. So
Yeah.